The cops took away this man's ability to protect himself? What the?
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
So here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
So here's the deal.
But here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Well, here's the deal.
But here's the deal.
So here's the deal.
And here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Here's the deal.
Because here's the deal.
Here's the deal. Either give me your ID or you go to jail. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Here's the deal.
Welcome back to the Here's the Deal channel. This you got to see because it demonstrates and it highlights the fact that we've had an incessant propaganda campaign and psychological operation that has so successfully numbed the minds of the masses that people are almost incapable of critical thinking. This story is old, but it deals with, this is a mainstream media news story about two robberies, a successful robbery and a failed robbery. But this news story only talks about the failed robbery. And admittedly, it's a heartwarming story because the first robbery, which was conducted by the robber who wasn't successful, gets his chest filled with hot lead. And I'm not going to show anything gross, but you got to see this story because it demonstrates and it highlights why we have First Amendment and Second Amendment auditors pushing back and pushing buttons of law enforcement to see if we're dealing with a real cop who's good or a tyrannical psychopath. Take a listen at this.
Well, a would-be robber got more than he bargained for after an attempted stick-up in New Haven. Police say it happened at Babe's Market on Ferry Street. The store's owner is talking exclusively to News 8 today. News 8's Aaron Logan has our report.
Every time the owner of Babe Market walks through these doors, he has a routine. He wastes no time. He immediately walks behind the counter and tucks away his gun, but he never thought he'd have to use it until, take a look at this. Last night, two masked men threatened his life.
This is New Haven, Connecticut. And this guy used a personal protection device to save himself, to save his business, to save other people in the store. There was a customer in the store. He's going to go into detail about it. But I want you to take note of the robbers who got away scot-free while they talked about them but didn't address them as the robbers they actually are.
He looks calm now, but 22-year-old Karar Jawad is still thinking about what could have happened inside his Ferry Street convenience store.
I'm glad that he's going to survive, and that's it. You know, I didn't want to shoot him, but I had to because my life was threatened.
He says so was his customers.
And they've had a gun to a customer. So when they had the gun to a customer, he goes, "Give me your money right now." I was like, I have my gun over here. So when I pulled out my gun slowly. When I pulled out my gun, he pointed the gun right here in my chest, and I just let off a couple of shots.
And what if we had more Americans like that? Don't you think that criminals would probably think twice before they went into that market, or they kicked down that door, or they tried to harass those elderly people? If they thought for a second, man, they could be packing heat. I might be in real trouble here. This might not be the safe working environment that I really, really want. If we had more Americans like this guy right here, how different do you think the landscape of criminality would be?
Shots.
And they took off?
Yeah.
Where'd you shoot him?
In the chest.
New Haven police say the man...
Thus, a very heartwarming story.
Who was shot showed up at the hospital shortly after, around 10:30. He's expected to be okay.
And I blacked out.
What did that customer do? Did the customer run out immediately, or?
Ran out and came back inside. He said, "I don't have no more money to be paying for the stuff I had to get." And he walked out. I was like, "It's okay, you could go ahead."
Jawad says the men stole the customer's wallet, but no items or money were taken from his store. You can see he has a little company today. Police took his gun and said it could be a while until he gets it back. Will you go get a new one, or will you just wait and hope that...
I'm gonna go get a new one.
So you don't even want to wait one day?
I can't take a risk no more.
Jawad told his...
Did you hear that? Just in case you missed it, I wanted to see if you caught it. Did you catch who took his gun? Did you catch what robber actually successfully made off with that man's property?
Police took his gun and said it could be a while until he gets it back.
Police took the protective device that this man used to save his life. What did police think about this man's life? What did police do? They took the property of a man who used a tool to save his life. Now he doesn't have that tool. Who was the successful robber in this situation? Who actually made off with this guy's property? And why aren't people en masse standing up against the New Haven, Connecticut Police Department saying, what the heck are you doing? You stole this man's property. The initial robber came in to steal this man's property, but was unsuccessful because this man right here used his personal protection device. And then you came up to help the man. We're from the government. We're here to help the man and relieved him of the property that actually he used to save his life. Who were the successful robbers? Who made off with this guy's property? And what are the people saying about it? So they're against the initial robbery, but not against the secondary robbery?
You go get a new one, or will you just wait and hope that...
I'm gonna go get a new one.
It's outrageous.
You don't even want to wait one day.
I can't take a risk no more.
Yeah, he can't take a risk, but you know what? The cops are more than willing to put him in a risky situation where his life might be jeopardized. And now, to add insult to injury, now thanks to mainstream, fake stream, CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra Media, everybody knows who this guy is. Everybody knows where he works. Everybody knows he's been disarmed for their convenience. He has been disarmed by those protectors and servants, and he's been relieved of his weapon. His property was stolen. Now the criminals know it. Now he's easy prey because they know he doesn't have a gun.
Told his close friend Keith Barnes that the two men looked young. Barnes says it's not surprising.
Nobody wanted to come here and open up 7 o'clock in the morning and not make it home to their family at night, so what he did was justified.
What do you think it's going to take in New Haven to get these guns off the street?
Not what do you think it's going to take to get the criminals off the street, as though from the perspective of this fake stream news correspondent, it was the gun's fault. No, hey, what do you think it's going to take to renew the minds of these people? What kind of upbringing do you think contributes to this kind of criminal behavior and this criminal activity? What can we do to get these criminals off the street? She's saying, what can we do to get the guns off the street? He's not going to catch it because, as with most people, they are propagandized. They've been psyoped. The psychological operations campaign has been complete. It's come full circle with the help of the 15,000-hour government public fool indoctrination program. All people can do is basically, hey, we'll just depend on the authorities. You mean depend on the authorities, the protectors and servants who took this guy's ability to protect himself away? And when she asked this question, wouldn't it have been great to hear this guy say, you mean, what is it going to take to get the criminals off the street? Not the guns. The guns didn't do this. We need to get the criminals off the street. And to answer your question, well, you do what my friend did. That's the best way to get criminals off the street. We can't depend on local law enforcement because when seconds count, police are minutes away. So to answer your question, the way we get the criminals off the street is by packing heat.
There's no quick solution because everybody has them.
You heard the owner and his friend. They do not feel safe. They're hopeful that in the new year, with a new police chief who's committed to community policing, that there will in fact be less gun violence. On the scene in New Haven, Aaron Logan, News 8.
Yeah, so what did Aaron Logan do? And what did WTNH New Haven, Connecticut do? They gave an outside look at what this market looks like, because you got Babe's Market right there. And again, this is an 11 or 12-year-old news story, but this is still very much in play, and cops are still doing this kind of thing. And they're not seen as the robbers. They're not seen as the bandits who took away this guy's property, specifically a tool that he could use. He's demonstrated it. He can use this tool to protect his life against incoming assailants. But the cops are like, no. We got to take it for an investigation. And that's another thing. What is there to investigate? A criminal came into this store to try to rob it. This guy already admits that he took it out, probably has video camera evidence of it, and he dislodged a couple rounds, and one of them stopped the assailant. What is there to investigate? You already know everything that you need to know. What purpose does it serve to take the firearm? Take the shell casing, extract the bullet out of the shelf and out of the chest. But you don't need to take the guy's ability to protect himself away. So I wanted to show you this, how whether wittingly or unwittingly, mainstream media and local law enforcement, specifically in this case, local law enforcement, work together to make this man's life right here just a little bit worse. We're from the government and we're here to help ourselves to your stuff. Leave your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys have to. Am I off base on this? And this isn't a rare occurrence. This isn't one of those few bad apples scenarios. This is pervasive. It is systemic. Leave your thoughts. Leaving your thoughts in the comment section below helps me overcome the YouTube algorithmic suppression. If you do that, I'd really appreciate it. If you like this video, give it a like, share it with everybody you know. I want more people to have eyes on this because none of us is greater than all of us. The more eyes we can put on this, the more knowledge we can put out, the more we can go down this, travel down this road of correction and morality, because that's really where we need to go. Was the second taking of the property a robbery in and of itself? Legalized robbery, but robbery nonetheless. When plunder becomes a way of life for a group of men living together in society, they create for themselves in the course of time a legal system which authorizes it and a moral code which glorifies it. Well, glorifying this kind of moral code and legalizing this kind of robbery is still robbery. Not to mention this pesky little thing right here called the Second Amendment. Didn't these cops swear to uphold the Bill of Rights, including the Second Amendment? So how is what the cops did to this shop owner not infringement? If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification icon. If you want to support the channel further, grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design. You can put on a shirt, hoodie, mug, hat, cell phone case, pillowcase, whatever you want. Become a channel member. And guys, remember, above all things, the price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. Freedom is dangerous. The only thing more dangerous is not having it. I will see you in the next video.